And yes, I once again mean everyone, everyone on Earth. Literally anyone that you know doesn't even have to play Dokkan. It could be your mother, it could be your great grandma, it could be the mailman again, right? We are going to collect everyone's souls, and these EZAs are not only coming tonight with their EZA details, they are going to be absolutely insanely astronomically busted, and we have all been waiting for them. Of course, we know who it is, the 8th anniversary LR EZAs. Now, a lot of people have just not been liking or feeling the 11th anniversary, and I do agree that, you know, the 11th anniversary could definitely have a better feeling to it, but I think these guys could very easily turn everything around for us. We could very easily come back to a perfect anniversary ending, just wrapping things up. And if we get good events here, great EZAs for these two right here, and we're just like, okay, you know, they fumbled throughout the anniversary, but they ended off at a really high note. Now for the next few months, we're set with content and things like that. People might look back at the anniversary at better than it could be, because, I mean, honestly, we did have some pretty good unit quality in the celebration. Besides this fucking Super Saiyan Trunks right here, this guy sucks. Besides him, I think every other character is bare minimum passable and usable, and a lot of them are very exceptional, such as Tamagami 1, exceptional free-to-play unit. Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta right here, the Super EZA, exceptional support unit. Legic, an exceptional extreme class support character. The anniversary characters are all very good. Kai Goku, top 5 EZA ever, in contention for the best EZA of all time in my opinion. Incredible celebration. We all hated a little bit too much on Blue Goku. Maybe a little bit of my fault, a teeny tiny bit. I did underrate them, we can admit that. But if we continue to have really great designs, these guys could be as aging well as the 7th anniversary LRs, which are still usable to this day. People still use those guys. So anyways, I did make concepts for what I want to see from these two. We're gonna take a look at that, and then we'll see what you guys want from their EZAs as well. Again, we're gathering all the good vibes, the good energy, along with your souls again, but you know, it's a worthy trade-off in my opinion to make the giant Super Soul Spirit Bomb. We're gonna throw it at Bandai HQ. Amatsu, you gotta bounce back with some good EZAs, brother. So with that in mind, here's my concept for the DBZ duo. So again, when it comes to them, I think that they are a very huge defense stacker, but my issue is that it's always very difficult to allow them to stack up, and they have no defensive mechanics whatsoever in their kit. And nowadays we know characters need multiple defensive mechanics to really withhold their own in the game. So what I did is, of course, I increased the 12 key super attack effect to a 50% defense stack. We gave them a 50% attack raise for 4 turns. Their 18 key, I gave them a 50% defense stack again, which they already had. But then I also was like, hey, you know, maybe they can get the 20% attack raise as well. It's not going to be anything too crazy. It's not going to break the game, potentially. I don't know. I mean, if they break the game, that's fine with me, honestly. Now, 350% attack and defense. I did that because 3 plus 5 equals 8. Funny numbers. 50% dodge here, 40% reduction. Just baseline, we're good to go, right? They should give them this, in my opinion, the DBZ do. I think they should make them predicated on dodge. Give them the AGL UI Goku ability, kind of like also Ultimate Gohan ability. Mixing the two together, where from turn 1, they have 24 ki. Just maxed out, they're hitting 24 ki. They have restrictions for launching an attack with 24 ki. It's usually not an issue if they're in slot 2 or 3. But I think there's reasons you could potentially use these guys in slot 1 if they give them a good EZA. So it could be nice, you know, if they don't get the extra key here in slot 1. Turn 1, they're just guaranteed to get additional supers, stack up, get themselves all set up. Now they also have stats above 50% HP because their standby skill could be used under 50% HP. So there's not really a point for them to kind of not go into the standby skill, I think is the thoughts of the devs, right? So when they're 50% HP or more, Key 8 80% attack and defense, and then 30% extra chance to dodge, which would make this a total of 80% chance to dodge. Funny numbers again. So, I basically switched around the stats depending on if you're the first or second attacker. If they're the first attacker, they get 180% defense when receiving an attack, 100% attack when attacking, then 1 key sphere obtained. Then if they're the second and third attacker, the stats are essentially switched, where 180% attack when attacking, 100% defense when they receive an attack, and then 2 key per key sphere obtained. Again, kind of just like mixing them around. It's like if you really need a stronger slot 1 defensive character, you know, this guy has the damage reduction to tank normals in most case scenarios. This guy has the 80% chance to dodge. Like, you're looking really, really nice. In fact, you know, I might bump this up to 50%. I think just to be a little safe, because again, the whole idea is that this guy will dodge normal, the super attacks, 80% chance to dodge, and then after that, he does have the 50% damage reduction still with stacking. Keep in mind, this guy's also going to be stacking a lot of defense. When it comes to these abilities, I didn't really change it. Or actually, this should be 24 more key. My bad. Or just 24 key, actually. You can't get more than 24 key. But essentially, guaranteed additional super attack here, guaranteed additional super here. Funny enough, I should point this out. I did change that. I forgot. This is a 70% chance. They should just make this guaranteed. There's no reason why it shouldn't be guaranteed, in my opinion. Then at 24 key, getting guaranteed crit. Instead of building up crit chance, I think there's no point. I think both LRs should have crit in their kit. Especially for anniversary LRs like this. So I'm like, hey, you know, give them critical hits right here. That can be good. Then for every super attack performed, permanent key 1, they already have that in their kit, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. Then right here, instead of making this a crit chance, which I moved up there, I just give them 88% attack within the turn. Now, when it comes to the GT Spirit Bomb duo, they're pretty much the exact same, except they're based around damage reduction and guard, which could be more consistent for now, but it will allow the Z duo Spirit Bomb to age better, probably, right? So these guys, again, stack attack, have the defense stack 20% on their 18 key, and a 4-turn 50% defense raise there. For 1 turn, they have basically 100% reduction plus the guard. 24 key, they're not taking damage on the first turn, right? You could argue that on turn 1, you know, these guys would age better than these guys because there's dodge canceling, but I digress, you know? When HP is 50% or more, they also will get another 30% reduction to have a total of 80% reduction plus guard, 80% attack and defense key, same thing. And then the rest of the passive is the exact same as the Z duo, which is why I kind of just skipped over to these guys instead of looking over the standby. Because the standby is where these guys both kind of differ a lot in their design. The only real difference between these two guys pre-EZA is the fact that it's kind of their defensive mechanics, where this guy, they were like, okay, this guy stacks defense, that's his defense mechanic, so we're gonna also give him building crit. But then this character is like, okay, this guy stacks attack, we're gonna give him 50% reduction, which was a huge landslide for these guys. And another thing is, this guy unfortunately doesn't really utilize that crit, because one thing I always hated about the standby version of this character, which, spoiler alert, I do think that they should fix, is I gave them guaranteed critical hits when using the finish skill. And same thing with this guy when the revival finish skill is activated. So again, we can go ahead and move over to the DBZ standby EZA concept. Anyways, of course, this, I guess if you guys didn't tell by the big letters concept here, it is a speculation video. Now, this guy actually does have to survive for a few turns. So I gave him 888% defense start of turn. It's a big defensive number. Then 40% damage reduction, just basic effect right there. For 4 turns, they'll guard and have key spheres of a certain type change to rainbow key spheres. Then for 4 turns again, they'll get damage reduction 8% up per key sphere obtained. And again, I messed that up. Per key sphere obtained. There we go. See, guys, it's as good as new. It's like there's never a mistake in the first place. I believe that's the wording anyways, is per, yeah, for every key sphere obtained. You guys get the point. It doesn't matter. 8% reduction, just like they did have for EZ. So if you grab, let's say, 5 key spheres with this guy is going to be at, actually, can't even do the math in my head. Did I fall off? I fell off. That's 40%. So they would have 80% reduction plus the guard, and they would also, you know, have this huge defensive stat start of turn. I guess you could be like, defense 80% when receiving an attack. But I don't think they need that because they have all the defensive stacking from basically before. I'll give them to it anyways. Why not just make them broken? Why not? Give them phase 2 defense. Let's make these guys broken. In fact, let's make it 88% just because we're fine with that. Then, of course, when the finished effect is activated, I gain 800% attack, which is 300% more than this right here. 500%, which is already a pretty considerable boost, honestly, considering that they also get 20% attack temporarily per charge count here, and you could really supercharge the Spirit Bomb to make it hit very hard. But the most important thing is that I gave this guy guarantee crits. He should guarantee crit. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's kind of dumb that the Spirit Bomb doesn't guarantee crit. That guy, I don't know. I feel like if whoever it hits, it should crit. Like, I also want to fix my hidden potential build. So, fingers crossed they do that. Now, the GT standby, these guys actually do attack. So, I think first and foremost, what I gave them is 100% reduction before attacking. So that, okay, after they attack, then they will be susceptible to receiving damage. I think that's really a good idea, honestly. And then a lot of things kind of stayed the same. I gave them 350% attack start of turn, just make them do some really good damage here. I think they have, what, 250% here, so 100% increase, right? Just to increase the Spirit Bomb damage. They have the attack race here, but I also gave them a multi-turn support ability. Attack 40% for 2 turns, allowing the next turn's active skills to hit very hard, etc. You know, that could be really good. Then, of course, this guy does also get 88% attack when the finished effect is activated, along with guarantee crits. Right now it's 39%. Just bumping up the damage numbers, make them break the game with the damage. That'd be awesome. Even increase the attack support to 88% instead of just 80%. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this guy does need this though, low-key. I was trying to really think about it, like, that's just to be safe. If you don't get many rainbow orbs with them, this will make them safe. But yeah, I think this would be pretty good. This is what I really want to see from these guys. I also believe I did mess up the GT Duo one because I low-key just like copy pasted this so I could have an easier time, because I mean it's the same kit pretty much. So I mean, yeah, I got, again, dodge, damage reduction, mega nuke, slightly smaller nuke, but it's a revive, which is really crazy, and it supports, so you guys get the point. So that is my concepts for them. We have 52 replies here. I don't know if we have any quote tweets. We do. GT Duo, yeah, we had the same idea. 70% reduction on guard, dodge plus damage reduction or dodge guard. Massively raise attack, earlier defense. I see. Okay. Let them have concept they can excel in instead of only being useful for standby. Top 3 overall in the game. Guaranteed super attacks, more multiplicative stats, damage reduction for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, support for allies when they're in standby. Ooh, I mean, giving these guys the standby, this guy's support, could be good. I don't think it necessarily needs it though, because unlike this guy who lasts for turn 1, this guy is a strong defensive invincible slot 1 character, essentially. I mean, it would be nice for him to give support. What if you give support when you're receiving an attack? Like 40% attack and defense to allies when you're receiving an attack. That'd be pretty busted. They need to be well done. 66 Dragon Stones. I mean, their EZAs would give us 66 Dragon Stones. That's true. Crash the game. Damage reduction, basic effects, crit and Buduo standby, guard for Buduo in their kit. Give them key issues. Make them need 23 or 24 key in order to be good, like all 4 of the new LRs. Yeah. Well, okay. To be fair, this guy doesn't need 24 key to be good. Because all he gets, well, he gets the guaranteed dodge, which is really nice. Obviously, that's a very massive increase. But it doesn't really increase the damage or defense, and he still would have a 70% chance to dodge. And in turn 1, he would still have guaranteed dodge, which is obviously very good. So I feel like the EX super for this guy doesn't feel as impactful. And then, of course, when you switch to Vegeta doesn't even have an EX super. Well, I do think that this guy really wants his EX super because of the extra 44% stack right here. Or, yeah, because it's 44% defense and attack. Well, this is just a 20% defense stack. Like, you get 24% extra defense here and this attack race for allies, which feels quite... It could be impactful in longer fights, is what I'd say. In short fights, it doesn't really matter as much, but that's kind of the big thing. And obviously this guy wants to hit 24Q really badly. So, yeah. Number 4 and 5 minimum. Yeah, again, we're seeing like people are going all out for these guys. Way more attacking the revenge counter. Exactly. Maybe crit support. Crit support could be interesting. Like, yeah, 88% crit support. Let's go. Nah. Super attack damage reduction. Ooh, like that. Yeah, damage reduction on super attacks received. That could be interesting. Esther orb changing. GT duo. Dodge against super attacks. Dodge per super attack with the crit. Again, I would hope that they just like remove that build up entirely. Is what I want. Spirit bomb. Better than Daima. Guaranteed crit. Make them good. Look at that. Please don't have guaranteed crit. That's... Whew, for you specifically, I feel bad. But also, why would you give them the... Like, maybe these two are already on there, but considering this is level 8 and level 7, I'm pretty sure these are the new equips. Why would you give them equips before we knew what their details are? If they get guaranteed crit, you are screwed over. But you better fucking hope they don't have guaranteed crit then. But either way, why would you give them equips this early? No! No! You fucked yourself over. Offensive monster base immediately with good defensive capabilities for Z-Duo, standby mode, insane support. GT Duo and defensive insane slot 1 support. Allow the standby to survive a turn. I mean, I don't think it really... I feel like the point is that it revives, so I don't really think there's a point to allow them to survive a turn, unless like it could be like a Bio Broly, where it's like, okay, you have a turn with Bio Broly where he's not attacking at all in slot 2, but then at that point you don't have to get the standby. You could just what's it called? What's the word I was gonna say? You don't have to even get the standby. You could end up what's the word? Dang it! Just stacking up again. Stacking is the word I was looking for. I'm stupid as hell. By the way, for Bio Broly, if these guys get stunned, do they still do the finish effect? I assume they would, because then the revival activates. But I don't know how that works. Like, imagine they get stunned, and then they just survive and don't do the... There's no way that happens, right? I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. But I haven't tested it out. Satisfied with them being Daima 4Q? That's about, like, you know, top 5 range, yeah. Maybe they move about massively stacking ATQ would be crazy. Raises allies attacking demons 5% in battle. That'd be pretty good too, like making the stacking gods. And then we'll read this here and then we'll kind of end it off, I think. High damage reduction numbers, ADV 80% with guard. Add another super for 1 turn just like the 7th years. They could do that. Additional attack and 18 key is a guaranteed super. Yep, I did also change that. Base 2 passive buffs and base. And then, of course, more key and higher stats across the board. Yeah, I think they should really change these buffs on their base forms. This right here and this needs to become multiplicative, because right now they're phase 1 buffs. They don't have any... Essentially, phase 2 buffs is like when attacking, when receiving an attack, you know, and it multiplies against the phase 1 buffs, which makes even bigger numbers than just adding on to it, right? I ordered this. Boss's damage reduction rate minus 80% temporarily when performing a finish skill. I mean, you know what? Why not? Why not? Just remove the boss's damage reduction. So guys, let me know what you're thinking about this Spirit Bomb duo. If you're, you know, which one you're more excited for. I think both of these guys are very exciting. Just know, again, we're all gonna be eating tonight. I'm telling y'all, we are fucking eating tonight. We're eating tonight. Trust the process. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.